everyone, how are you? I hope you all are fine. So in this video, we'll discuss chapter 5 of biology. Our chapter name is life processes. Okay, so let's discuss about this chapter. How do we tell the difference between what is alive and what is not alive? There is a question that how we can tell that what is alive and what is not alive. Okay, now if we see a dog running or a cow chewing cud, or a man shouting loudly on the street, we know that these are living beings. What if the dogs on calls or whenever asleep? It means we see a dog that is who is running, and a cow who is chewing, and a man who is shouting loudly on the street. It means these are living beings. Okay, and now there again question is that if the dog and the cow and the man were asleep, it means if they sleep. Okay, now the question is, we would still think that they are alive, but how did we know that? It means can we say that they are alive? Why? Okay, so we see them breathing and we know that they are alive. It means we see them that obviously if man or a dog was sleeping, but they still take breath. Okay, so with the help of breathing, we can think that they are alive. Okay. So what about what about plants? How do we know that they are alive? It means here is a question about plants, that how we know that they are alive. We see them green, some of us will say, but what about plant that have leaves of color other than green? It means someone say that they are green, that's why they are alive. But what about them when the color become different other than green? Okay, so they grow over time, so we know that they are alive. Some will say that in another way we tend to think that some sort of movement, either growth related or not, as the common evidence for being alive. It means some say that they have some sort of movement and also they are growing. Okay, so this type of common evidence for being alive, but a plant that is not visibly growing is still alive, and some animals can breathe without visible movement. It means the plant that is not visibly growing but still they are alive, and in animals they can breathe without visible movement. Okay, and so using visible movement as the defining the characteristic of life is not enough. It means this is not enough to define the characteristic of life. So let's see what movement over very small scale will be invisible to the naked eyes. It means if there is a small scale of movement, so that is invisible to the naked eyes, that we cannot see with naked eyes, like movement of molecule. Can we see? No. For example, that is this invisible molecule movement necessary for life? Here is a question. If we ask this question to a professional biologist, they will say yes. In fact, virus did not show any molecular movement in them until they infect some cell, and that is partially why there is controversy about whether they are truly alive or not. It means if we ask this question from a professional biologist, they will say yes, because virus don't show any molecular movement, and also they infect some until they infect some cell. Okay, and after that partially why they are partially we can say that they are alive or not. Now, why are molecular movement needed for life? We have seen in earlier classes that living organisms are well organized structure. They have tissue have cell, and cell have smaller components in them, and so on. It means in the previous class we have read about the cell, that is cell have organisms are well structured, that they can have tissue and tissue have cell and cell have smaller component in them. Now order nature of living structure is very likely to keep on breaking down over time. It means it is very likely to keep breaking down over time. If order break down, the organism will no longer be alive. If we break down that, then the organism will not alive. So living creature must keep repairing and maintaining their structure. It means living creature have must them maintaining and also have to repairing. Okay. Since all these structure are made up of molecule, they must move molecule around all time. What are the maintenance process in the living? Let's explore. It means these are the questions. Okay, and the last question is that what are the maintenance process in living organism? For maintaining, okay, for maintaining how many processes? So let's see. What are life processes? Okay, our question is that what are life processes? So the maintenance functioning of living organisms must go on over when they are not doing anything particular. It means the maintenance function of living organism must go on even when they are not doing anything particular and even when they are sitting in class, even if they are just asleep, this maintenance job has to go on. It means whether he or she is sleeping, if they are sitting, or they are good, and they are not doing anything, or they are not doing anything. Okay, it's just keeping going on. Okay, it means suppose that you are walking, you are sleeping, and your heart your heart stop and the heart is not functioning, then obviously you know what is the problem. Main problem will help that you will die. Okay, so this is called the process that never stop. It is continuously work. Just it means our heartbeat is continuously beats. Okay, the processes which together perform this maintenance job are life processes. It means together all the processes will maintain this job. They are called life processes. Since these maintenance processes are needed to prevent damage and breakdown, energy is needed for them. It means for this type of maintenance processes, we want energy. Okay, suppose if a man is working and if we not give any type of food to him, then what happen? He become we can say weak, and also his health will affect. Okay, so in the same way, if we not give energy, so our life processes will not help. It means the heart will not work. Okay, so we have to give them energy. So that's why here is written that prevent damage and breakdown, energy is needed for them. This energy comes from outside, from the body, indivisible organism. Okay, so obviously the energy comes from outside of the body. Okay, so there must be a process to transfer a source of energy from outside to the body of the organism. We all call food to the inside process, we all call nutrition. It means outside the body it is called food, and inside the body it is called nutrition. Okay. If the body size of the organism is to grow, additional raw material will also be needed from outside. Okay, if the body size of organism is to grow, so the raw material is where we get raw material. We will get the raw material from outside. Okay, since life on Earth depend on carbon dioxide molecule. Okay, so here the same thing is written that the Earth depends on the carbon based molecule. Most of these food sources are also carbon based. Depending on the complexity of these carbon sources, different organisms can use different kinds of nutritional processes. It means there are different organisms use different processes, nutritional processes. Okay. The outside source of energy could be quite varied. Okay, since the environment is not under the control of the individual organism, this source of energy therefore need to be break down or to build up body. It means outside source of energy could be quite varied. It means it can be varied since the environment is not under the control of individual organism. It means environment is not control of organism. In the winter, if they want can we say that if a person want winter, okay, so the environment become cold and okay, so it cannot be possible. It is not under the control of any organism. This source of energy therefore need to break down or build up body and must finally converted to an informed source of energy that can be used for a various molecular movement need for maintaining living structure. Okay, this is also important. Okay, for the maintaining of living structure as well as to kind of molecule body needs to grow also. Okay, for this a series of chemical reaction in the body are necessary. Oxidizing and reducing reaction are some of the most common chemical means of breakdown molecules. For this, many organisms use oxygen from outside the body and the process acquiring oxygen from the outside the body, and to use this process breakdown of food into a cellular that we call respiration. Okay, so there are many molecular activity are also held in our body like oxidizing and reducing reaction. Okay, now okay, that we all know that oxygen that we require from that we get from outside the body and use it in the process of breakdown of food sources of like with the help of aerobic respiration. Okay, now in the case of a single celled organism, what if the cell has single cell like amoeba? Okay, so what will happen in that type of cell? No specific organ or taking in food, exchange of gases or removal of waste may need because the entire surface of the organism is in contact with the environment. It means that all the surface of contact is in the contact of environment. But what happens when the body size is the organism increase, the body design become more complex. If the body size become increased, then the body design become more complex. Okay, then what happen? Okay, in the multicellular organism, all the cell may not be direct contact with the surrounding environment. The simple diffusion will not meet the requirement of the cell. It means in the multicellular organism like us that we are not connected with the surrounding. Okay, so I hope you understand this. Now we have more points like we have seen previously how in multicellular organisms various body parts have a specialized in the function they perform. We are familiar with the idea of these specialized tissue and with their organization in the body of the organism. It means we have seen previously that multicellular organisms have various body parts and also have a specialized function. Okay, that we can see a human have a specialized organs like heart, lungs, intestine. Okay, and they are different function were held. Now it is therefore not surprising that the uptake of food and oxygen will also the function of a specialized tissue. Uptake of food and also it is also a and the oxygen will and of oxygen will also be a function of a specialized tissue. Okay, so this, however, this poses a problem like since the food and oxygen are now taken up at one place in the body of the organism with all the part of the body need them. It means if the food and oxygen are not taken up at one place, okay, in the body of the organism, will all the part of the body needed them. Okay, if there is one place, then all the part will need them. This situation creates needs for the transportation system for carrying food, oxygen from one place to another in the body. When chemical reaction use the carbon sources and the oxygen for energy generation, they create by the products, and they are not only useless for the cell of the body. It means they are not useless for the cell. Now, but could even be harmful also. Okay, they waste byproducts are therefore needed to remove from the body and discarded outside by the process of excretion. Okay, if something is discharged out from the body wasted material, then this process is called excretion. Again, if the basic rules for body design in multicellular organisms are followed, a specialized tissue for excretion that is developed, which means design which specialized tissue excretion will be developed, which means that the transportation system, we will need to transport waste away from the cell this is to this excretory tissue. It means the multicellular organism are followed, that is specialized tissue for the excretion will be developed, and which means the transportation system will have it means for discharging out there is also be transportation system will help from the cell to the excretory tissue. So let us consider the various processes so essential to maintain the life by one. It means we have, let us see now the essential maintenance of what? Food. Sorry, maintenance of life one by one. Okay. So our next topic is nutrition. Okay. So I hope you understand till here. Okay. So this topic is like nutrition. So we will discuss in the next video. Okay, I hope you understand that what are life process. Okay, any living organism processes that is helps to maintain the life. Okay, so it is called life process. So this is about the chapter. Okay, I hope you understand whole the video. That's all for today. In the next video we will discuss nutrition. Okay, thank you.